Have you ever wondered what Newcastle disease in chickens is? Today, we're going to explore this very topic, shedding light on this avian affliction that can have a significant impact on poultry health. We'll be discussing the disease in detail, helping you to understand its signs, symptoms, and the necessary steps for treatment and prevention. This knowledge is vital not just for poultry farmers but for anyone invested in the well-being of these birds. So, stay tuned as we delve deeper into this subject. Newcastle disease is a highly contagious virus that affects chickens. But what exactly is it? Newcastle disease got its name from Newcastle upon Tyne, England, where it was first identified in 1926. It is caused by a virus known as avian paramyxovirus 1, which belongs to the family Paramyxoviridae. This virus is notorious for its ability to spread rapidly among poultry, resulting in significant losses for farmers and the poultry industry at large. The disease is transmitted through direct contact with infected birds, or indirectly through contaminated feed, water, equipment, and even clothing. It's a global traveler too, carried by migratory birds or transported internationally through the live bird trade. That's why it's found virtually everywhere in the world, except in countries with rigorous disease control measures. Understanding the signs and symptoms of Newcastle disease is crucial for early detection and management. In the next scene, we'll delve into these signs and symptoms so you'll know what to look out for. Stay tuned. So, how do you know if your chickens have Newcastle disease? Well, it's time to play detective and look for clues. Newcastle disease can manifest in various ways, and it's crucial to know what to look for to ensure the health and well-being of your flock. Let's delve into the signs and symptoms of this disease. Firstly, physical signs. Chickens with Newcastle disease may exhibit a range of symptoms. These include respiratory distress such as gasping, coughing, and sneezing. You might also notice greenish, watery diarrhea. In severe cases, nervous signs can present themselves. These include twisted necks, circling, and paralysis. Now let's talk about behavioral changes. Chickens are social creatures, and their behavior can tell you a lot about their health. Birds with Newcastle disease may become lethargic, showing a lack of interest in their usual activities. They may eat less, leading to weight loss. You might also observe a drop in their social interactions, indicating something's not right. Finally, let's discuss the impact on egg production. Newcastle disease can hit your flock's productivity hard. Infected hens often lay fewer eggs, and the eggs they do lay may be misshapen or discolored. This drop in egg production can be a significant red flag that something's amiss. Remember, these symptoms can vary depending on the strain of Newcastle disease and the bird's age and overall health. Some birds may show only mild signs, while others may become severely ill. It's also worth noting that symptoms alone can't confirm Newcastle disease, as these signs are common to several other poultry diseases. A definitive diagnosis requires laboratory testing. But why is it crucial to identify these signs? Because early detection is the key to managing Newcastle disease. If you notice these signs in your flock, it's time to take action. With prompt and appropriate intervention, you can limit the spread of the disease and reduce its impact on your flock. Recognizing these signs early can help in timely treatment and control of the disease. So, keep your eyes peeled and remember your flock's health is in your hands. What can you do if your chickens contract Newcastle disease? This question often arises as a pressing concern among poultry keepers, and rightly so. Newcastle disease, a viral infection that strikes fear into the hearts of poultry farmers, unfortunately doesn't have a specific treatment or cure. However, that doesn't mean there's nothing you can do. Your primary approach should be supportive care, aiming to keep your chickens as comfortable as possible while their immune systems battle the virus. This involves ensuring they're well hydrated and nourished. Just like humans when we're ill, chickens may lose their appetite or become dehydrated. Providing a balanced diet and clean, fresh water is crucial. If they're struggling to eat or drink, you may need to assist them. Another critical aspect of supportive care is maintaining a clean, stress-free environment. By keeping the coop clean, you can minimize the risk of secondary infections, which could further complicate the disease. Reducing stress is also key, as stress can weaken a chicken's immune system, making it harder for them to recover. In severe cases, or if you're unsure what to do, don't hesitate to consult with a veterinarian. They can provide expert advice tailored to your flock's specific needs. They might recommend additional supportive measures, such as electrolyte supplements to boost hydration or antibiotics, to ward off secondary bacterial infections. It's also essential to isolate any affected birds from the rest of the flock to prevent the disease from spreading. Newcastle disease is highly contagious, and isolating sick birds can help protect the rest of your flock. So, while it's true that there isn't a specific treatment for Newcastle disease, there's still plenty you can do to support your chickens if they do contract the virus. Remember, your primary goal should be to keep them comfortable and healthy, and to prevent the disease from spreading within your flock. While treatment options may be limited, there are effective ways to prevent Newcastle disease. And that's exactly what we'll be discussing in the next segment, so stay tuned. Prevention is better than cure, especially when it comes to Newcastle disease. That's a saying that rings true for any poultry farmer. So, what are some of the preventive measures you can take? First and foremost, vaccination is your frontline defense against Newcastle disease. It's like giving your flock an invisible shield against the virus. Vaccines stimulate the chicken's immune system to recognize and fight the virus, reducing the likelihood of infection. There are a variety of vaccines available, each designed to target specific strains of the virus. Consult with a veterinarian to determine the most suitable vaccination program for your flock. The second preventive measure revolves around biosecurity. Biosecurity is essentially about reducing the chances of the virus entering your farm. Think of it as building a fortress around your flock. You can achieve this by limiting access to your farm, especially to people who have been in contact with other birds. Vehicles entering your farm should also be disinfected as they can carry the virus. Biosecurity also means keeping wild birds away, as they can be carriers of the virus. Lastly, but by no means least, is sanitation. Regular cleaning and disinfection of the poultry houses can go a long way in preventing the spread of Newcastle disease. This includes disinfecting feeders, drinkers, and other equipment on a regular basis. It's also important to properly dispose of waste and dead birds, as they can harbor the virus. In addition to these measures, regular monitoring and early detection of the disease can help in its prevention. If you notice any signs of Newcastle disease in your flock, it's crucial to act immediately. Rapid response can limit the spread of the virus and save the rest of your flock. Remember, the health and productivity of your flock largely depend on how well you can prevent diseases like Newcastle disease. It may require some effort and diligence, but the payoff is well worth it. By taking these preventive steps, you can protect your flock from Newcastle disease. In summary, Newcastle disease is a significant concern for poultry farmers. This poultry affliction is not just a local issue, but a global one, affecting all corners of the world where chickens are raised and cultivated. It's a disease that commands our attention and understanding. Let's remind ourselves of the key points we've covered today. Newcastle disease is a highly contagious viral infection that affects domestic poultry, especially chickens. It's caused by a virus known as the avian paramyxovirus type 1. This virus is notorious for its ability to spread rapidly and cause substantial losses in poultry populations. We discussed the signs and symptoms of the disease, which include respiratory distress, nervous signs such as twisting of the neck and paralysis, reduced egg production, and in severe cases, sudden death. We emphasized the importance of being observant and vigilant. The quicker a farmer can identify these signs, the quicker they can take necessary action. We also covered the treatment of Newcastle disease. Unfortunately, there's no specific cure for this viral infection. The focus should be on supportive care, reducing stress for the affected birds, and maintaining good nutrition. It's essential to understand that the treatment of Newcastle disease is more about managing the disease's effects, and less about eradicating the virus itself. However, where Newcastle disease really meets its match is in prevention. Vaccination is the most effective method of prevention. There are several types of vaccines available, and the choice of which to use depends on various factors, including the age of the birds, the production system, and the risk of disease. We also talked about the importance of good biosecurity practices. These include maintaining clean and hygienic conditions in the poultry house, limiting visitor access to the farm, and practicing proper quarantine measures for new birds. The bottom line is this: early detection and prevention are paramount. By being vigilant for signs of Newcastle disease, being proactive about vaccination, and adhering to stringent biosecurity practices, poultry farmers can significantly reduce the impact of this disease on their flocks. Newcastle disease can be a formidable adversary, but with knowledge and proactive measures we can keep our chickens healthy and productive. It's a battle we can win, and it starts with information and understanding. Remember, healthy chickens mean a healthy yield. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more information on poultry farming.